So in this module, we're all set up to do some vocal recording. I've kindly got the services of the very talented Luke Neptune, and we're going to re-record some of the vocals on a track by himself and Benny Marshall called House That House Built, which was on my Maison Records label, and it came out last year. So the first thing I've done is to get Luke to run through and have a warm-up, and whilst he's doing that, it means I can get a vocal level within the DAW, and like I said, using the volume on the preamp and the sound card to get a good average take level. And I've also set my compressor on the preamp to level out any loud vocals and give a nice even take. I've set up a ratio of 3:1 on the compressor, and I'm also using the auto release for the attack and release. If I was doing that manually, I'd set an attack of 1 millisecond and probably a release of 200 milliseconds for a starting point. I'm not going to EQ Luke's vocals on the way in. I mean, I have worked with him before. You may have to EQ on the way in if you've got that option. I have on the preamp. But the thing is, when you over squash or over compress a vocal as it's being recorded, it's very difficult to take it off afterwards. So I try and get the vocal as flat and raw as I can and do most of my processing post recording. And very importantly, I've got the lyric sheet here so we can cross off all the takes we do and we're not going to miss anything. You won't believe how many times singers come to various studios, even mine, and they'll go away and then you realise there's a certain line missing in the track and they've gone all the way back 100 miles away or whatnot. So very important that you make sure you get all the vocals down. So this is a full song that we'll be doing. We're only going to do part of it for the tutorial purposes, but the way I would attack a full song would be to do the verses first and then double tracks on the verses. If there's any associated harmonies, I would do those too, and then I would go on to the chorus. By that time the singer will have warmed up more, and once he's got the chorus down, any double tracks needed in the chorus, do the harmonies for the chorus, and if it's all going well, it might be a case of redoing some of the verses once the singer's really got into the stride. Once all that's done, if there's any middle eights or specific ad-libs, get them done, and then I will let Luke, for instance, do a full couple of ad-lib takes, and I just generally find that they're the most exciting part of the recording process because the singer's in full flow, they've warmed up, and it's a chance for them to shine. They might come up with something that you never think of, and quite often the ad-libs are the best bits to cut up for any dance track or any track, and more often than not they've been the most exciting bits of vocal to work with. So let's start the first verse. Okay, Luke, I've set up a loop point and it's going to go around the first verse a few times. So let's do a few takes and then we can take the best lines from each take.
Yep.
We danced when we met. I was dancing to forget, and you was dancing to recall a memory from long ago. We danced when we met. I was dancing to forget, and you was dancing to recall a memory from long ago. We danced when we met. I was dancing to forget, and you was dancing to recall a memory from long ago.
Great stuff, Luke. Let's see if we can comp up a first verse out of those 3 takes.
We danced when we met. I was dancing to forget, and you was dancing to recall A memory from long ago. We danced when we met. I was dancing to forget, and you was dancing to recall.
So what I can now do is look at the 3 takes, and I can choose the best line per take, and then I can flatten them in Logic. You can do this in Ableton, but you'd have to chop and paste. I do believe you can do it in Pro Tools, but it's a really cool way of compiling your vocals, basically. So now we've nailed the first verse, I can now ask Luke to double track it, and it'll thicken up the first verse.
Baby, don't you remember? This is a house that house built. 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 This is a house that house built.
Okay, that's the double track in the can. Why don't we try for some high harmonies?
A memory from long ago. You keep letting go, and I keep holding on. You keep letting go, and I keep holding on. You keep letting go, and I keep holding on. Baby, don't you remember? This is a house that house built. This is a house that house built. This is a house that house built. This is a house that house built.
As you can see, it's a gradual process, and we're just building up the vocals, the verses, the chorus, layering the harmonies, and any double tracking. It's also essential to have good communication skills between each other.
Yeah. If you could just lower the volume again, just on that harmony, just so I can really pick out the vocal and singing.
You keep letting go, and I keep holding on. You keep letting go, and I keep holding on. You keep letting go, and I keep holding on. Baby, don't you remember? This is a house that house built. This is a house that house built. This is a house that house built. This is a house that house built.
So after doing a 3-part high harmony, we then did a low harmony, and we doubled that up, and then finally we moved on to the ad-libs for this tutorial. This is my favourite part of the recording session, where I just tell the vocalist to ad-lib, let rip, and do what they feel.
Oh, this is our house. Yeah. Oh, baby, now this is our house. Don't burn the house down, baby, no. Just you're my only friend. This is our house. Don't burn the house down, baby. Ooh, baby. Oh, my baby. You're my baby. This is our house. This is our house. This is our house.
So that's all the vocals recorded for this module. Many thanks to the fantastic Luke Neptune. And in the next module, we're going to discuss EQing, compression, getting the balance of the vocals in the mix, and adding effects.